Hello guys, yep, so I'm going to be starting a new scripting tutorials, and yeah, this is my first video on YouTube, so I hope it goes pretty well. I've never really done any commentaries before, so I'm not the best at it, but I'll get there. So, for today, I was going to show you a few of the basics of scripting, and once again, none of this is rehearsed, I'm just trying it out, so. Alright, so first, you have two windows. You have your Explorer window, and you have your Properties window. Now, Explorer window is basically an archive of everything in your game. So here you have lighting. This is my skybox. I have a whole set of skybox. I believe it's made by Stickmaster Luke, possibly. I might be wrong about that, but yep, this is your workspace. You have your terrain, which is, if you ever use a terrain generator, that's where it would all be. You have your camera, which is just what you see. And you have a message for some reason, which you really don't need. Alright, so to first create a new part, you click Insert, Object, then you go down here, and you click Part. Then you click up here and click OK. So basically what I just did there is I went into the Insert menu, which has a whole list of all the possible things you can insert. Now, this only shows a list for the things that you can insert into that particular part. So if I have the camera selected, and I click Insert, you'll see I won't have as wide of a variety of objects as if I clicked Workspace. You'll see I have a bunch of different miscellaneous stuff. So that's how you create a part. Now you can do some pretty cool things with it down in Properties. You can change the color. You have a whole palette of colors. You have red, orange, green. I like this green. This one right here. So that looks pretty good. You can also scroll down here. There's a bunch more properties. You have your reflectance, which is how shiny it is. So it has to be a decimal between 0 and 1. So if I put 0.7, you'll see it's pretty shiny. Looks nice. If I put it all the way up to 1, it would just be like a mirror. Though it doesn't actually reflect other things around it, though. You can put it at 0.1, which is a little bit reflective. You might be able to see it. And yeah, so you also have your transparency. Once again, decimal between 0 and 1. Put it at 0.5. Hit enter. It will be 50% transparent, and as you can see through it. You can put it all the way up to 1. It will be invisible. You can put it down to 0.1. It will be slightly transparent. So you can see that. Now, I'm gonna make it solid. Move the reflectance. Alright, so you can move down here. You can change the name. You can change the name by typing in here. Or you can go up here. You can change it this way. And you just double click it. Or not. You click it, then click it again. And it'll open up your type box. So, okay, now you can scroll down here. You have your position. So, you have your X, your Y, and your Z. In Roblox, Y is up and down. So if I set this to 8, it would move up. I set this to 1, it would move down. Then you have your X and the Z, which are the horizontal axis. So I can set this to 7. It'll go to the right. And I can set this to 4, it'll go to the left, and you get the idea. So, you also have rotational velocity and velocity. I won't be going into that now, but it's basically, it has to do with the movement of the part. So, if I set the velocity here to 5, it would turn the part into like a conveyor belt. So, anything that's sitting on it, it will move along it. And this is where anchored comes into play. So right here, you have anchored. You have anchored, archivable, can collide, and locked. So if you have anchored unchecked, as you can see, if you hit the play button up here, the part will fall. However, if you take anchored and you make it true, hit play, the part won't fall. Also, you can go down to can collide. This will make it so that other parts will not be able to collide with it. They'll just go right through it. Archivable is just if you're able to move it into different areas. Locked, so if you have lock checked in, you cannot use any of the tools up here to edit it or anything. It's unselectable. So uncheck locked. Alright. We have elasticity, I think. That's how bouncy the part is. There's a lawnmower going outside. Sorry about that. Yeah, form factor, which that basically changes. I'm pretty sure it changes like the way you're able to resize it. But you might have to correct me on that, so you can check the wiki. Okay, friction is how much the part's going to slide against another part. Size is how big the part is, so if I set this to 5, it would be longer. And then you have all of these. I'm not going to go into these, but it basically helps if you use motors. You can make the part rotate along the motor. And then finally down here you have your surfaces. So as you can see, this is top surface. So right now it's studs. So if I change this to weld, you'll see that the top surface of this part is changed to a weld. So I can change the bottom surface to universal. You'll see it's inlets and studs. And set this back to inlets right here, and set this up here to studs. Now these actually affect how the parts combine when they're unanchored. So for example, if there's another part on top of here, the studs will only lock in with an inlet. The glue, it'll stick the part to any surface. The weld does basically the same thing. The universal, it'll connect with studs or inlets. Then the hinge, that's if you want the parts to swing around it. Then you have your motor, which is what I was talking about with all these, all that up here. And then you have your stepping motor. I'm not quite sure what this does because I haven't seen it before. And then you have unjoinable, which basically means that the part cannot be joined to any other part. And I think actually glue will only stick to smooth. So that's basically it. Now I can edit all of these features of the script, and I'll have to explain that next time. So okay guys, see ya.